I tried 3 different programs for recording my ideas for videos. Now, the first one, I used this Onenote, the second one is Todoist, and the third one is Microsoft To-Do. Now, I also tried, or often am just doing videos just from my brain, so I don't really record them, I just record whatever is already recorded in my brain and is also available. Now, the first thing I tried was to basically to make a list, to brainstorm ideas, and then to have them in OneNote. I tried this for the earliest projects, like a podcast I made with a friend together. Now, this worked quite well, especially if you then have one brainstorming session and then recording and then the distribution. So these processes are ideally then separated, which allows you to mentally also compartmentalize, I think is the right word, to compartmentalize the different roles you have and not worry so much about, okay, I said this, but what if I post this? And instead you focus more, okay, now I need to do this, okay, now I need to do this, and this is obviously what I want to do, so now let's just also publish the video. Now, the big problem I see for recording video ideas in OneNote is that OneNote does not have a checklist feature. Now, it has these checkboxes, but whenever you then enter and want to record the next thing, then sometimes the checkbox is gone. So there is this icon which you can check off, but also there is no real visual difference apart from the check mark, which is just a small orange thing. Which means that, well, you can record these ideas, but it's not then an easy process to record these ideas. No, so you record these ideas via text in OneNote, and then you would turn them into a video in my case. And so once you have turned them into a video, you ideally would just check it, and then it would disappear from your site. Now, this is what then usually a task manager does. So I tried using Microsoft To-Do, which I usually use for other tasks as well, to also have my video ideas in there. So I made basically separate lists just for my video ideas. So Microsoft To-Do only works in folders. Now you have these folders and you don't have additional tags, which means that if you want to record a short video, a long video, but you also have now different channels which both have kind of short and long videos, then the only distinction you can have is short and long video, or all of these different folders. So there are not multiple variables you can have for one entry. You can only have the text and then the substeps, and maybe you can also add a picture or something like this, but you cannot have basically multiple variables in order to sort through this, and then also use filters. Now, another big side effect of using Task Manager for this, not Task Manager, but Microsoft To-Do, I always also search in Microsoft in the Windows search just for Task Manager and not for Microsoft To-Do, but this is maybe due to the process of this being previously being Wunderlist, and then Microsoft bought it, and so it's now Microsoft To-Do. Now, the big downside is that whenever I now search for a given task, and because I make videos about the things I already kind of am doing, or that are already kind of in my mind, the tasks I have and the videos I would make are often kind of have a similar wording and a similar language, also at the same point in time, which means whenever I search for something, my video ideas also turn up, which is not that helpful. So I then had the idea to search for a different solution and to have just a system where I would record, and I ideally also would be able to record on my phone, even though I basically never take time on my phone to then type something, because it just seems to be not a good use of my time. Now, in theory, I have the Todoist app on my phone, and also I have the app on my notebook. There have been in the past 2 different Todoist apps. The first one was basically a desktop program, and the other one was a Microsoft Store program. Now there is only the Microsoft Store program left. Now Todoist also has a premium tier, and I think the main limitation I am at least running into is that for one given project, and I still haven't understood all the different things, so there are 3 different distinctions there are 3 different variables you can have basically. The first one is filters, the second one is labels, and the third one is projects. Now, I actually still don't really understand how these work, even though I have used Todoist before. I'm kind of using the labels similar to how I would use a label property in Notion, which is another productivity program. Then the filters are saying assigned to me in priority 1, and you can also have only 3 filters, so I don't use them basically. And so the projects are things where I basically enter. So the projects are things where there can be a filter. So this could be now. So to explain this now, I have basically 2 distinctions. The first one is that I have short video ideas and long video ideas. So these are ideas for short videos up to 1 minute, and the rest is basically everything above long. And then I also have different formats. Now, the first one is the time dimension, is the length, and the second one is the format in which I record those. So I have currently the following formats. I have screen, which is screen recordings, mostly on my notebook and phone. Then I have a drawing format. I have code, which is basically when I blog post and then record this. Then I have rear, where I run around with my camera. I have front, which is this format. Now, I also plan to have a show in the future, which would be where I interview guests, basically on the same topic as the channel is also about. Now, what I'm using here is, I'm using basically a tag for long and short, and then I'm also using a tag for the rest of the formats, which allows me now to have basically a thing, video idea. It can be both a short and it's also front. So this here, for example, would be long and front. And so I can basically click on these different labels, and then if I just want to randomly produce short ideas in this format, then I just click on this and then I have them listed. If I now have a certain setup, let's say I have my drawing board out and I have my camera pointed to this, then I would just record the different screen ideas, but I could probably also filter additionally through short and long. Now, what this allows me to do is to record ideas and to have this very simplistic thing of, okay, this is open, and then I just have this, and once I made a video, I just check it off. And this checking off basically disappears this idea out of my site, compared to OneNote, where it doesn't, where you still have all of the old ideas. Hence, compared to Microsoft Todo, where I would have the pollution of basically the searchability of my normal tasks with my video ideas.